Hey everyone, how's it going? I am here to record the actual Google sliding recording of the next 2 days, 3 days. So when you open up the Google Classroom for May 4 and 5, you're going to see this PowerPoint and this. Oh God, I said PowerPoint. I meant to say Google Slides. So it's Google Slides and the Google Doc. So we're going to first work with the Google Slides. So I'm going to go ahead and present that for a little while. And so basically what we're working on today is analyzing primary documents in order to formulate a relationship between English and American law. So we're going to look at American and English laws today, the next 2 days, to figure out some of the relationships they may have. And we're going to focus in on what was the purpose of the English Bill of Rights. And, just because I wanted to, here's a nice little meme, a British B and a US B. Just thought that was cool. So let's go ahead and look at the next slide. So just as a recap, we have King Charles from last week. He abused, he misused, he took advantage of his powers. And so for that, he's going to pay. And the way he pays for it is just, he's going to get beheaded. So after the Civil War ends, he's going to get beheaded. I would love to zoom into this. Can I zoom in on that? Maybe I can. So we're going to zoom in on that. Look at that. His head's being beheaded. So that's his beheaded head. Here we have just women fainting because their king is dead. And once again, there is King Charles's beheading. He's been executed once again because he abused, he misused, he took advantage of his powers. It's a great image I found. And so what happens next is, well, we have this guy, Oliver Cromwell, who is the Lord Protector of England. He's going to take over for a couple of years, and he's basically a dictatorship. And he's a Puritan, and so basically what happens is he'll have England be a Puritan place. And Puritan is just a Christian church and set of beliefs. And so it's very strict. And so what he does is he ends up banning sports. He closes the theaters. He has the press censored. And so he also doesn't like Catholics. And so he is not really good to the Catholics. Fun facts I found out, he also captures Jamaica, or at least he is in charge of the mission or invasion to invade Jamaica. But eventually when he dies, his son takes over. But his son is not in power forever. And so now that Cromwell is gone, people are like missing the monarch. And so they're like, just kidding, we need our monarch back. And so what happens is they'll have Charles II become the king. And he is going to basically strip the Puritans and the Catholics of their rights, just because those two Christian faiths are not what the Parliament and the king are in favor of. And so when King Charles II dies, his brother James II, who is Catholic, gains power. And now, obviously, the Parliament doesn't like the Catholics. And so with James II being a Catholic, there is an issue that's going to come around there. And so James II, his wife, and his son are forced out. And in his place, Mary, his daughter, which is interesting, and William of the Netherlands are brought in to be the monarchs or the rulers. And this is called the Glorious Revolution, where there was no blood, spewed. There was no blood. There was no wars. It's just a quick, simple transition to a new rulership. And so here we have, I forgot to show you the pictures. This is, what's his name? Charles II. Yes. And then after Charles II is gone, we have James II, but he's also kicked out. And so now Mary II and William III, they agree to co-rule. So it's not like just one king or one queen. It's a co-relationship. So they're both in charge of England, and they both agree to the Bill of Rights. And now the Bill of Rights limits their rule. It limits the monarch's powers, and it makes Parliament the one who makes the laws. And also, it basically shuts out Catholics from ever becoming a king or queen in England. So there are no Catholic monarchs from this point over. And Parliament is in charge of making the laws. And so the English Bill of Rights, what is that? Well, specifically looking at it, it's just giving freedom of speech in Parliament. It's also giving freedom of petitioning of the king. I should put queen there too, so I'll change that in the edits. So petitioning or questioning or arguing with the monarch. And we have the freedom to bear arms for self-defense. Put a quick note about that. Only Puritans can defend themselves. Catholics, they can't do that. And then there's some freedom of cruel and unusual punishment and excessive bail. So you're not spending like $1 million to get out of jail because you stole a carrot. There's a video here if you want to look at that a little bit more. But the English Bill of Rights is the primary document right here. You're going to look at it in the document. And then we're also looking at the Bill of Rights of America. So here in the Bill of Rights, I'm going to zoom in on that picture. We have these rights that we as Americans or anyone who lives in America has, right? So the first one, freedom of religion, of speech, of religion, assembly, and petition. We have some rights to bear arms. We have the right of a person, rights of people who have been accused of crimes. You got state rights, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago, the 10th Amendment. So we have all these rights that we've been given from the government that the government cannot touch. Similar to the whole reason in England, right? We don't want the king or queen to take our rights once again. And so what's going on for the next 2 days? You're going to look at the document, which is right here, actually. Boom. So the first day, we're focusing in on this, the effects of the English Civil War for Monday, May 4th, 2020. So we're going to look at this video, watch the Glorious Revolution. So click on that link, and you'll have a link pop up. All right, so it'll pop up. Pop up. Awesome. So you're going to watch this video for just 3 minutes and 40 seconds. That's it. You're just going to watch it. You're not taking any notes down unless you want to. You're not answering any questions. It's just the Glorious Revolution. I thought it was good because it's children making it, just like, you know, I'm making videos. It's great. Put the captions on. Always put captions on because I like the captions. I think captions are very helpful for people who like to read and listen at the same time.
Rights, which shifted the power from the monarchy to parliament.
Beautiful. So check that video out. And then you're going to go ahead and read question 3. Because the great thing about, well, one thing you should always be doing is reading the question first before reading the actual text or reading. So let's read the question together. We're going to identify and explain one of the effects of the English Civil War. So we're doing 2 things. We're identifying, which means to select or choose one effect, and then explain it. A lot of you are not explaining stuff when it says to explain things. When you're explaining something, you're just telling us, your readers, why it's important. So you're going to include some details on what is important about it. So here's the document. I tried my best to make it as short as possible, but still, you know, understandable. So I think I did a really good job, just saying. So that's for Monday. That's what you're doing. Do not turn it in after Monday. You're done on Monday. Then you're going to go ahead and look at Tuesdays, May 5, Cinco de Mayo. The English Bill of Rights. So once again, you look at this video, watch English Bill of Rights video. I'm going to click on that video. Once again, it's a really good video from Discovery Channel. You're going to put the captions because captions are a lifesaver, or at least they are for me.
Like Charles, James II had no regard for Parliament. He thought it a nuisance and declared...
Beautiful. So you would watch that. It's only less than 3 minutes. And then you're going to read questions 3 and 4. So it's a little bit more questions, but it's nothing crazy. And then review the images on the next 2 pages. So number 3 is, why was the English Bill of Rights created? Who does it give power to? Now this one, it's you thinking back to just the day before, and maybe even the week before that, when we had the whole, you know, Charles I and his stuff going on. So why does the English Bill of Rights matter, or why is it created? Who is it giving power to, and who is it taking power from? And then for question number 4, you can pick one of these 2 questions. What influence did the English Bill of Rights have on the United States? Or compare and contrast the English Bill of Rights and the US Bill of Rights. And it's asking us to look at these 2 images on the next 2 pages. And this is what the images look like. The first image, it's the Bill of Rights. I liked this picture I found because it's from an exhibition that they had in England. And so it's looking at the Glorious Revolution and that stuff. But basically, what are some of the rights that we have in the Bill of Rights in England? So we have freedom of speech. We have, you know, we have the rights to bear arm. But you see this whole no Catholic atheists. So they're not for Catholics or atheists, and it shows in the rights, Bill of Rights. But there's the actual reading too, if you want to look at the readings. You have freedom to elect members of parliament, freedom of speech in parliament. So you can look at that. And then you look at the second picture. Remember, you're comparing and contrasting or figuring out why the English Bill of Rights influences the American Bill of Rights. So here are the Bill of Rights, which you might be familiar with or not, and that's fine. So we have the First Amendment where it says, Congress shall make no laws respecting an establishment of religion. Basically, it's just giving us the freedoms of religion, of speech, petition, assembly, the press. Second Amendment, it's giving us the right to bear arms. And as the slides tell us, actually, right, where have we seen this before, right? Freedom to bear arms, freedom of religion, of speech. These are all in the English Bill of Rights. So there's similarities between them. So you're just going to figure that out. And that's it for May 5 also. So you would just hand it in, what, on the 11th? Not the 11th, I lied. The 6th of May by midnight. There's a great video also if you want to check that out in the Google Slides. But other than that, hopefully this wasn't too long. Hopefully it's like 8 minutes or less. If you have any questions, please let me know. Do some Google meetings. I'll keep popping into your documents as well. I'm going to keep calling some of your families just to make sure you're all doing well and if you need any help with anything. But like I seriously mean it. I really do hope you're doing okay. And it sucks that, like, for real now, we can't see each other until September, which really, it breaks my heart just as a first-year teacher. But I'm going to do my best to ignore that and just continue to just be with you all online. But come to us, come to our meetings. Anything else, please let me know. I miss you all very much. Let me know if you need anything. Hit me up. Some of you have my numbers. Use it, because some of you are failing. I don't know why you're doing that. We have my number, and I can help you out. So see you all later. Bye. Let's stop the recording. Bye.